Namaste. Namaste, guys. Welcome to Friday Night Yoga. And I hope that you're looking forward to this at the end of, no doubt, a busy week. So tonight we will need a belt. It doesn't need to be a yoga belt. It could be a dressing gown belt. It could be a jeans belt. It could be a tea towel or a swimming towel or something similar, but something to give you some length. A scarf works really well as well, in fact. And so have that to one side and we will work with it later. And let's begin our class sitting in any comfortable position. So you can kneel, you can sit in a chair, you can sit on the floor, you can use a cushion for support, whatever works for you. Whatever position you're in, rest your hands gently down. If you feel comfortable doing so, you can close your eyes or simply gaze gently downward. And take a moment to step away from everything else that's going on in your life and step into this yoga space. Leave behind your list of things to do, any conflicts you've had during your week, any busyness, any challenges. And carve out this next hour and a half just for you. Notice what parts of your body are touching the floor, or perhaps your chair. Allow those parts of the body to feel grounded, steady, stable. And from that stability, that foundation, lift your head up. So lengthen through the back of the body, through the front of the body. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Soften your shoulders. Soften your face. And see if you can maintain this upright seat without gripping too hard or fighting with your body, just allowing the spine to organize itself upwards. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Any areas that feel tired or tense or sore. Be aware of them now and throughout your practice. Notice at least one part of the body that feels at ease, spacious, light even. Move your awareness to the breath that you're breathing right now. Without controlling it, just notice something about your breath. Perhaps where your body moves as you breathe, or the sensation of the breath going in and out of the nose. In yoga, wherever possible, we breathe in and out through the nose, unless otherwise directed. On your next exhalation, gently engage the muscles across your abdomen to draw your navel inwards, upwards, just a touch, to ease a bit more air out of the lungs. And then breathe deeply into the sides of the body, the back, the chest. And just breathing out slowly, steadily, and completely by using that engagement across your navel. Breathing into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Breathing out slowly, deeply, and completely. A couple more breaths like this, breathing into the whole of the rib cage, the whole of the torso. And exhaling completely, using that gentle engagement. At the end of your next exhalation, you can allow your breath to fall into any rhythm and just draw your chin towards your chest. So without force, allowing the head to fall forwards to wherever it feels comfortable. Notice if there's a sensation of length down the back of the neck or across the shoulders or between the shoulder blades. And then roll the right ear towards the right shoulder, stretching the left side of the neck. And chin back to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. feeling length down the right side of the neck and chin to chest. So we're just doing little semicircles here, side to side. And as you work, perhaps you're still comfortable closing your eyes, that's fine. And if you prefer, you can keep them open, that's okay too. Notice as you move the sensations of length into the side of the jaw, the side of the face, underneath the ear, maybe into the base of the tongue, down the sides of the neck, the front and the back of the neck, the top of the back, the shoulders, the chest. And just take note of how integrated our movement is. It's never possible to move just one part of the body. When you're ready, you can draw your chin gently towards your chest and then back to upright. And open your eyes if you'd like to. So now that our necks are feeling quite awake, we're going to warm up our shoulders a little bit. And today we're going to work through class because we've got new folks to class and also beginners in yoga. We're going to work through a preparatory practice and into downward facing dog and some down dog variations and possibly some cobra variations as well. So don't worry if none of that means anything to you, it's all good. We're going to start by rolling the shoulders, both backwards and forwards. So going the opposite way as well, just these little shoulder rolls. And then we're going to start with the right arm today, a little softness in the right elbow, and just make some circles with your right elbow. Ah, I see a furry friend has come to join. So we're beginning with a relatively small movement, although the shoulder is very, very mobile, so it's hard to tell. And then when you're ready, you can put more of your body into the movement. So you can begin to waken up the sides of the body, the front and the back of the body, and allow your head to move with your arm as well, so that you don't feel like you're holding your neck rigid or any rigidity in any part of the body. Reverse your movement whenever you're ready. So you can start small when you reverse as well if you'd like to, or if you're happy to go straight into more expressive movements, you can. And it's okay to rock around on your sit bones or your buttocks. We'll do just one more in this direction. And rest the right arm to wherever feels comfortable and notice the difference between the two sides of the body. So perhaps one side feels warmer or vitalized and the other side feels like it wants to do the same. Soften the left elbow and the same thing. So beginning with nice smallish circles, circling the elbow and the arm in, not in isolation, but in near isolation. And then when you're ready, you can allow your body to respond to the movement, to move with your arm. And just like we did with our neck movements, notice where you feel those movements originate. Perhaps you can feel into the left hip, the left side, underneath the armpit. Let's reverse the motion, go the opposite way. Perhaps you notice your chest or your upper back or your neck moving as well. And if we move this way, we observe that the body moves much better when we allow it to move together, much more naturally. Let's do one more in this direction. And release this arm down to your side or to wherever is good. I'm going to take my jumper off now because I've warmed up a little bit. It's cooled down at the end of the day at this end, so please excuse me. Super. And now we've done our shoulders a little bit, we're going to waken up our spines a little bit too. So hands resting onto your knees. You can do this kneeling or sitting cross-legged if you prefer, and just rocking your body around in a circle. So imagine that you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with the crown of the head, or you can imagine that you're drawing your heart around in a circle over the hips, whichever works for you best. And we'll go the opposite way as well. And it's fine to rock from one hip to the other as well, to feel that the legs are moving a little bit. getting a massage into the buttocks and the outsides of the hips. Very good. And when you're ready, you can come back to center and we'll extend the legs. So often the thing that new to yoga folks find quite difficult is the sitting down on the floor for a long time. So let's extend the legs. We're going to keep the knees a little bit bent, and then imagine you're doing, well, you are doing, you don't need to imagine. Let's do some rotations through the ankles. So ankle circles, allowing the knees to fall towards each other and then apart. So the knees stay bent or bentish, falling together and apart. And then we'll go the opposite way as well. And this is called octopus legs. Don't ask me why, I didn't name it myself. There we are. Super duper. You can feel the rotation of your hip, thigh bones and your hip sockets here, which is nice too. And then when you come to sitting again, cross your legs the opposite way. So you've got the opposite foot in front. And that way we maintain a little bit of balance. So we're going to wake up the sides of the body a bit more now by just reaching the left hand to the left and the right arm up and over, and then pressing off that left hand for a little bit of buoyancy to move to the other side. So a little bit of momentum going side to side. There's no right or wrong way to do this, so just allow yourself to flow. And as you go to the left, the right hip will come off the floor, and as you go to the right, the left hip will come off the floor, side to side. Very good. Next time you're over to the left, just stay there and soften the left shoulder and elbow and reach the right arm really in a purposeful way up and over. And then we're going to draw the right shoulder backwards as we look up towards the ceiling, and then draw the right shoulder forwards and look down towards the floor. So just feeling that rotation through the side of the body as we go backwards and forwards. Maybe a touch of support across your belly muscles. It's almost like the shoulder blade is massaging the upper back. And we're using that length between the ribs to massage the intercostal muscles as well. And then when you're ready, you can reach the right arm up towards the ceiling and make big wrist rotations with the fingers really expressive. So if you do a lot of work on a computer, this can be really therapeutic. We'll go the opposite way as well. Nice big circles, still sort of leaned over to the left side. And then right thumb into palm, all of the other fingers wrapped around into a soft fist and rotating the wrist this way as well. And in the opposite direction too. And if you suffer with carpal tunnel or anything like that, this can be really, really useful. Okay, so coming back to the center, just bouncing off the left arm to come up. We'll reach all the way over to the other side. We're going to reach the the left arm up and over, and then draw the left shoulder backwards and forwards. Looking up as the shoulder comes back, and looking down as the shoulder comes forwards, and just feeling that movement down the side of the body, perhaps into your hips. Massaging across the upper back. You can go slower if you want to, quicker if you want to, no problem at all. One more. And then reaching your left arm up to the ceiling, nice expressive wrist circles with the fingers all long and the palm wide. Soft in the right shoulder, soft in the right elbow, going the opposite way with your wrist rotations. And then folding the left thumb into the palm, all of the fingers around, and rotating again. This is the one I really need to do, and the opposite way as well. Very good. And then just gently bouncing off the right elbow to come back up to sitting and resting the arms down, taking a moment to roll your shoulders if you need to, make any wiggles that feel useful to you. And we're going to come from here down onto our backs and have our belts ready, or belt type device. So I'm turning on my mat to roll down, but you guys can roll down in any direction. And we're going to start on the back with the feet on the floor, the knees bent and the arms out to the side. So we're going to still further limber the body a bit before we do any hamstring stretches. So here we have the feet nice and wide apart, a little bit even wider than your body if you want to, or as wide as your body. And engage the belly muscles a little bit. So a little bit firmness across the abdomen. Doesn't need to be really rigid or grippy, just a touch. And begin swaying the knees from one side to the other. So they don't have to go all the way to the floor. It's not about the shape that you're making, it's about how it feels. So we're developing our range of movements. We don't jump onto the mat and express our fullest range of movement immediately. We're developing, we're getting there throughout the class. So allow the knees to gradually make maybe a fuller movement, a fuller twist, leaving the upper body nice and relaxed, but the belly muscles a little bit engaged. The next time your knees come down on your left side, just allow them to rest wherever they fall. They don't have to get to the floor, just wherever they fall. And if it feels comfortable there, then you can reach your right arm past your right ear, or the ear on your right side, so that you get a little bit of an increased sense of length across the hip. And if it feels good there, then you might want to encourage the inner right foot and inner right thigh towards the floor, with a little bit of muscular further increase that sense of space. And if it feels good there, you might want to rest the left foot on top of the right thigh. But it's really important to know in yoga when is enough. So it might be enough just to simply have the knees over to the left without needing any of the additional options. Wherever you get to, take a deep breath in, soften the features of the face and sigh out through your mouth. Then uncross your legs if they're crossed, draw the right arm down to the right side again, firm the belly muscles and bring the knees back to the center. A little sway from side to side, not too far, just to release out. And then sway your knees all the way over to the right. Doesn't matter where they get to, just see if it feels comfortable. If it feels good there, reach your left arm up past the left side of your head. Relax your left shoulder a bit. If it feels good there, you can encourage the inner left foot and inner left thigh towards the floor with a little bit of effort through your muscles. If it feels good there and you want a bit more, you can rest the right foot on top of the left thigh. Wherever you get to, soften the effort in your body. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. Then you can uncross your legs if you've got them crossed. Release the left arm out to the left side. Firm the belly muscles, bring the knees back to the center and do a little gentle sway from side to side. Excellent stuff. Okay, so here in our lying down position, we call this half shavasana, or sometimes it's called constructive rest. We're going to bring the heels a little bit closer to the buttocks. So if you can easily get your heels all the way in towards your buttocks, you want them a bit further away than that. But if you've had your feet quite far away, just enough to feel support. So heels towards the buttocks, toes can be slightly turned out if it's useful for you. Elbows down by your side, pressing the backs of the arms into the mat, but bending at the elbows so the hands face each other across the body, robot arms. We're going to roll the back of the shoulders, shoulder blades back to the arms into the mat quite firmly to feel a lift in the center of the chest. And then engage the back of the head gently downwards. Firm the belly muscles, feel your buttock muscles switch on, press into your heels and lift your hips up. And gently lower, but keep the upper body really engaged. So still pressing down into the elbows and arms and shoulders. Lifting the hips up, perhaps inhaling as you do, And exhaling as you release down. Try to breathe in and out through your nose if you can. Press into the heels, firm the buttocks to lift. And exhale, gently releasing, using the belly muscles to act as a brake on the way down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. This time, when you come up, we're going to hold. So coming up, and then imagine you're hula hooping and you're going to wiggle your hips around. So hula hooping hips, still in bridge pose. You'll come slightly down, slightly up, slightly out to each side. Whichever way you're hula hoop the opposite way. Moving the hips around in a circle. Feeling the engagement of one side and then the other. And then coming back to the center and gently releasing all the way down. And when you release down this time, relax your arms out to the side. Gently sway your nose from side to side to release any effort from the back of the body, back of the neck. And we'll just extend the legs for a moment. So they're nice and long. And with the feet apart, heels on the floor, wave the soles of your feet from side to side like you are waving your hands. You can wave your hands as well, like I'm doing if you want to. It's okay, no one can see you. You can act as much of a ninny as you like. And when you're ready, you can gather one knee into the chest and then the other. And keeping the knees apart, make circles with your hands on your knees. So make circles with your knees, but using your hands. And we'll go in the opposite direction as well. And then we're going to let go of the knees and let our bodies make the circles as well. So still circling the knees, but engaging your belly muscles to do so. And circling the opposite way as well. And this is part of a series called Apanasana, which there's no test on Sanskrit, by the way, just come back to center. But Apanasana means wind releasing posture. So if you find that happens at home, that's quite natural and exactly what's supposed to happen. When you come back to center, we're going to bring the toes towards each other and the knees apart and hands onto the knees, and then circle the knees together and apart. Again, stirring the thigh bones in the hip joints, and we'll go the opposite way as well, apart and together. And then finally here, we're going to bring the knees together and the feet close together as well, hands onto the knees, and make the smallest circle you can with your knees going in the same direction. So if you take your awareness into the back of your body, it will feel like you're rocking on your sacrum, that bony fused set of vertebrae just between the hip bones at the back of the body. And then circle the opposite way. Just a little massage for that sensitive part of the low back. Very good. And then gently taking one foot to the floor and then the other. And we're going to do a little hamstring stretch. So that's what our belts are for. So we'll start with the left leg first. We'll draw the left knee into the chest and wrap the belt around the heel of your foot. So whatever you're using as your lengthening device, wrap around the heel of your foot. And it doesn't matter if your left leg is straight or not. It doesn't have to reach any particular shape. Hold your belt and extend your leg to be a little bit straighter if you can. It can be as low down towards the mat as you need for it to feel comfortable. So here, when we do stretches like this, we're trying to create a little bit of ease of tension and increased sense of comfort in the body. So we're not looking for a really intense stretch. We're looking for something that we can hold and maintain for some deep breathing. So to begin with, make sure your foot is flexed, so your toes are coming back towards the body. And if you are cheating, then as you flex your foot, you'll find that the sense of length intensifies. Try to soften your shoulders and your face and your belly muscles as well for some long, deep breaths here. Now, if it feels incredibly comfortable to do this with your leg really quite perpendicular or even back towards your body, then you can extend your right leg on the floor and extend through that heel as well. So that length through the back of the right leg will help the left leg to feel a sense of length as well. And if you're very practiced, you might want to hover your right heel off the floor at the same time, so you really engage through the center of the body. Take a deep breath in and a slow, steady breath out. Regardless of whether your right leg is extended or not, just relax it down. And then we're going to pass the belt into the left hand. So both parts of your length device into the left hand, and allow your leg to come out to the left leg to the left. Balance your left elbow on the floor and use it for some support if the elbow naturally comes to the floor. We want to keep the right hip on the floor, so that's important. And if this feels really, really easy, usually that's because you've let the leg come down to the side. So you can bring your leg a little bit closer towards your head if you need to. Feel that sense of length down the inner thigh. Just a gentle breath in and out. Keep flexing through your heel. And then very gently engaging the belly muscles, bring your leg back to center. Pass the belt into your right hand and allow your left foot to come over towards the right side of the body. So we're not looking to get the left foot right over to the right. It's just over the right hip, basically. So you get a sense of length down the outside of the left hip. Again, you can draw your left foot a bit closer towards your head if it doesn't feel like it's very stretchy. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And very gently release back to the center. Unhook your belt. Bend your left knee in towards you. Excuse me. Bend your right knee in as well. And then make any movements that feel good to massage out the back of the body. So circling the knees or drawing your head towards your knees if that feels good. Doing a little bit of rocking and roll, knees going in different directions. Excuse me. And then float your feet to the floor. So now hopefully you can feel the difference between the two sides of the body. We're going to do the same thing on the right. So with the left foot on the floor, knee bent, bend the right knee into your chest and hook the belt around your heel. So not the ball of the foot, not the center of the foot, but the heel of the foot. Extend through your right leg to a place that's comfortable. So it doesn't need to be perpendicular to the floor. It doesn't need to be straight. A little softness in the knee is quite useful actually sometimes. Make sure that you're not cheating by drawing your toes back towards your body so that you're flexing through your foot. It doesn't have to be really rigid, but just enough. And then soften the shoulders. Relax your face, your chest, your belly muscles, and take some long, deep breaths, just like we did at the beginning of the class. And you guys do that while I get a quick glass of water. Sorry, I made all the singing bowls sing with that cough. So if it feels super comfortable like this, then you can extend your left leg straight. You don't need to, it's only if you need to, if you want to. I've inhaled a load of chalk is what's happened. So if you've got your left leg extended, you can float the heel off the floor. Heel off the floor, yes, very good. And just take another deep breath in and out. And then settle your left leg down. Pass the belt into the right hand. So both pieces into the right hand. Firm the belly. Allow your right leg to come out to the right, maybe resting your right elbow down on the floor, making sure that your left hip stays down. And here, if it feels really easy, you've maybe let your right foot come down to the side of the body rather than towards the head. So making sure that your stretch feels useful and engaged. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. When you're ready, you can firm the belly muscles and bring your leg back to the center, pass the belt into the left hand, and just allow the right foot to hover over the left hip. Just a touch. So again, you get that sense of length, still flexing into your heel, maybe lengthening through the back of the leg if it's useful. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And when you're ready, you can bring your right foot back to the center, unhook your belt, bend your knee into your chest and bend your opposite foot in as well so that both knees are into the chest. Make any movements that feel good to you. Perhaps just rest your knees towards your chest, arms out to the side, and gently turn your head from side to side. When you're ready, you can gather your head towards your knees and then rock backwards and forwards through the length of your spine. So from sit bones to shoulder blades. Balancing on your sit bones when you come up, rocking back down. And see if you can throw a different shape every time you come up to balance. Woo! And then the next time, just come into a comfortable seated position. Brilliant stuff, guys. Sorry about the coughing. I'm fingers crossed it's over for now. Okay, so we're going to come now onto our hands and knees to do a little bit of warming up. So if you've got sensitive wrists, I wanted to prepare the wrists before we do that. So reaching the arms out in front of you, I'm going to reach the right palm upwards and just use the hand to draw the fingers back towards your body. Now here, if you're doing too much, if the movement is too intense, your shoulders will come up around your ears. So try to soften the shoulders down. You don't need to lock your right elbow straight. Just find somewhere that's comfy that you can hold while you encourage the fingers back towards the body. So we're trying to lengthen out this space on the inside of the forearm and the wrist. And we'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then really slowly, just release that pressure a little bit. Bring the palms of the hands together and bring them to the center of the chest. Note if you feel like you've overdone it, because often we don't notice until we've released a posture if we've done too much. And then take note of that while we work to the other side. So opening the left palm to the ceiling and drawing the fingers back towards the body with the right hand. And of course, if you're feeling tender in the wrists, you can do a less intense movement here, but something to actively encourage this open space on the inner wrist can help us a lot when we're in hands and knees. Softening down the shoulders, breathing deeply. And then to release, keeping the fingertips together, but just easing out, drawing the palms together, hands to the center of the chest. We're going to interlace the fingers here, keep the elbows towards the body and make figure of eights with the wrists. Very good. And then we go the opposite way as well. This is one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing a little bit of parkour. I haven't really. I've been doing some animal movements training and we do this at the beginning of each class and it's great. I love it. Okay, and then from here we're going to again bring the palms of the hands together and then roll the little fingers together, backs of the hands together, thumbs together, palms together. So we get this little roll through the wrists. It looks quite graceful as we do this. And we can roll the opposite way as well. And this is my favored way to release the wrists. when I've been working on lots of hands and knees things. Okay, so now we've done that, we can shake them out and we can come onto our hands and knees fully prepared to do some lovely hands and knees action. So here, you don't have to have your hands directly underneath your shoulders. In fact, if your wrists are sensitive, slightly in front of your shoulders is better. And you can have your hands wider apart. If you're really strong in the shoulders, it gives you a bit more space to move. Knees can be, again, wherever is useful, slightly behind the hips, directly underneath the hips, whatever feels good. Tuck your toes under to begin with. So we're going to do some cat-cow poses. As you inhale, lift your belly muscles, and as you exhale, draw your pelvic floor inwards and upwards. And then keeping those engaged, inhale, look forward, open your chest, maybe lift your tailbone slightly. Exhale, round the spine the opposite way, chin to chest, and just arching the back. Inhaling, imagine you're dragging the heels of your hands backwards to open your chest, soften the elbows. Exhaling, scooping the belly in, press the mat away from you, chin to chest. Inhaling, that sense of almost drawing the elbows back to open the chest. And exhaling, press even into the toes to lift the body away from the mat. Inhaling forward. And exhaling, rounding under. And then here, we're just going to settle ourselves into child's pose. So we want to make it an active child's pose, toes towards each other, knees apart. We're going to leave the left hand on the floor and slide the right hand, the back of the hand, underneath the left knee and the left arm. And take the right side of the head to the floor, right shoulder to the floor if you can. It's sometimes helpful to walk your left hand a little bit further away from you, because it gives a bit more space for your neck to move. Wherever you get to, you can soften your effort, relax your arms a little bit, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then we're going to use the left hand for support to gently lift the body enough to slide the right hand back into its original position, and then do the same thing to the other side. So right hand stays where it was. Slide the back of the left hand between the right knee and right hand. Let the left side of the head come to the floor. Relax the arms or walk the right fingers away from you somewhat. Relax the arms. Relax the face. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then use that right hand for a bit of support to press up just enough to uncurl yourself back into this position, this sort of extended child's pose. Okay, so I want to demonstrate what we're going to do next, and I'd like you to watch before you do it. So we're in this extended child's pose, the hands are quite far forward. We're going to square the feet behind the knees and tuck the toes under, and then keeping the chest down towards the thighs, we're going to float the knees off the floor. Touch them back down, float them off the floor, touch them back down, float them off the floor, and then extend through the legs. So we come into downward facing dog this way. Okay, so join me with your feet behind your knees instead of together, hands reaching forward, firm in the belly, firm the fingertips and the heels of the hands into the floor, and then lift the knees just a little and release. Lift the knees just a little and release. And then this time, pressing the chest towards the thighs, lift the knees, lift the hips up, look between the feet. And you don't need to have straight legs or straight arms here, just straightish. So here, really engage your belly muscles. Keep a little softness in your elbows, so don't lock your elbows, and pad through the heels of your feet. So extend one leg, bending the opposite knee towards you. And so you walking your dog a little bit from side to side. You can look from side to side, so you move in your shoulders and your neck as well. And then when you're ready, you can come back to your hands and knees, and you can rest back into a child's pose. And this time, we're going to take the palms and turn them upwards, and if you can, forehead to the floor. So if that's not comfortable, Then you can make a pillow out of your hands and rest your forehead on top. Or you can use a cushion for support. If you can, turning the palms upwards, that just gives a little different sensation across the rotator cuffs, across the upper back. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then when you're ready, you can walk your hands back towards you. So you're kneeling, and we'll do some releasing for our shoulders. So if you don't enjoy kneeling back on your heels like this, you can use a block or a cushion to lift your hips up a bit, or you can choose to sit. There's no need to kneel. But we're going to kneel here. We're working on the flexibility of the ankles by kneeling like this. But if it's not comfortable to sit on your heels, you can also just release your hips upwards, whatever works for you. Here we're going to interlace our fingers and turn the palms outwards, and then raise the arms up over the head and settle the shoulders down a little bit. And then make circles with the palms of the hands on the ceiling. And we want to try to isolate or contain this movement in the upper body. So we're just opening that space in the upper body, making these little wiggles. We can go in the opposite direction as well. And it's all these little wriggles. If you watch an animal stretching, they do this sort of vibrational wriggle through their bodies, and we call it pandiculation. It's one of the most useful ways to stretch. And then in the center, separate your fingers and float your arms down to the side. Roll the shoulders if you need to, release them. And then we will come back onto our hands and knees. So this time on hands and knees, if your wrists are feeling it, you can take fists instead, or you can take your fingertips to the floor, which we call cupcake hands. But cupcake hands is used to develop the strength for handstands. So it's useful to do it ahead of time if you need to. So fists, flat palms if you prefer. And then tucking the toes under again. We're going to use the left hand and reach the left hand back towards the feet and up and over. So nice big circle with the left arm. We're going to do 3 in this direction, so just 1 more. And then we're going to go the opposite way. And let your hips come to your heels. Let your body rotate. And open. And when you've done 3, reach the left arm up. And we'll do thread the needle here. So taking the back of the left hand between the right knee and the right hand, take the left shoulder and left side of the head to the floor if you can. You don't need to, but if you can. Then walk the right fingers forward, the right hand forward to make some space. And relax the arms. It's just like we did in child's pose, but now we call this thread the needle. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Walk the right hand back towards the head. Use the effort of the right arm to bring you back onto your hands and knees. And we'll do the same thing with the other side. So reaching the right arm back and up and over, back. And you can move in your hips as well. 3 in this direction. And then 3 in the opposite direction. Just allowing your chest and neck to move as well. And then after 3, reaching the right arm up, press into the left hand to do that, and then slide the back of the right hand between the left hand and knee, the right side of the head to the floor. Walk your left hand forward, relax your arms, take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Very nice. Bring the left hand back towards you. Press into the left hand and come back to your hands and knees. And here on hands and knees, we're going to tuck the toes flat and we're going to do a little cat-cow. So as you inhale, looking forward, and as you exhale, rounding through the spine. And in this position, hover your knees off the floor. So press the tops of the feet down. Knees come down, inhaling forward. Exhaling, scooping the belly, rounding through the back, hovering your knees off the floor. One more time, inhaling forward. Exhaling, rounding, scooping the belly in, and then bringing your knees down to the mat, and we're going to allow the whole body to come down to the floor, so we're lying flat. Make a pillow out of your hands. Allow your forehead to rest on your pillowed hands. Toes turn towards each other, they don't need to touch. Heels fall apart. And here, just taking some nice deep breaths. And if it's helpful, if you've got something you're holding on to that you need to release, you can sigh out through your mouth. Try it, it's very therapeutic or cathartic, whichever. So here, we're going to just gently rock the hips from side to side, releasing any tension from the low back. And then in the center, find some stillness and just observe the effect of your practice. So observe where it feels warm in the body, where you've got tingling sensations or coolness, a sense of strength or length or openness or lightness. And this position is particularly useful if you sit during your day, if you spend a lot of time forward bending, because the spine is in its natural alignment. And by allowing the heels to fall out to the sides with the toes turned in, the sacral area at the low back can really release. You'll notice as you breathe with a soft belly that each inhalation seems to open and lift and create space between the vertebrae in the low back. And as you exhale, perhaps you can soften your jaw, soften your tongue. Let go of some of that tension. So when you're ready, we're going to do Bhujangasana, cobra pose. So we're going to draw the feet towards each other. The thighs are touching thighs towards each other is important. Legs narrower is more important than what's touching. There we are. Okay. And we're going to take the hands either side of the chest, and you can have slightly lower if you prefer, slightly higher if you prefer, whatever feels good, but let's take them wider than your mat. Forehead to the floor, elbows are bent and shoulder blades can begin to work towards each other. Press your pubic bone down, the front of the pelvis down, engaging the belly muscles and the buttocks. Press the tops of the feet gently down as well. And then as you inhale, lift your head, hands and chest up. And as you exhale, release down. Inhaling all the way up. And exhaling down. Shoulders stay in the same place, hands lift. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. We'll do 2 more of this floating cobra. Inhaling up, buttocks still working. Exhaling down. Last one. Inhaling up and exhaling down. When you come down, make a pillow out of your hands. Toes turn towards each other, heels fall apart. Wiggle the hips from side to side. And this time we're going to do the same thing, but keep the hands on the floor. And we're only trying to open as far as our bodies are comfortable to open. So thighs towards each other, pubic bone pressing down. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other, engage buttock and belly. And then as you inhale, press into the hands and just lift your head and chest a little bit. And as you exhale, release down. See if you can lift first without the hands, inhaling head and chest up, and then press into the hands to come up a little bit higher and exhaling down. Be really careful as you move that you're not leading with your chin. So allow the back of the neck to stay long and keep the elbows a little soft so we're not locking the arms straight. Inhaling up and exhaling down. This time when you come up, we're going to hold. So firm the belly and the buttocks, inhaling up, and hold in the upright position. Elbows are nice and soft, and we're just going to sway the chest from side to side. So just a little bob, little sway from side to side. You can do as much or as little of this as you want. And then we're going to come back to the center and release all the way down. Make a pillow out of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart. Gently rock the hips from side to side. If you need to, take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. If you're happy, then perhaps you don't need to. So for our final Cobra variation today, we're doing a hands-free version. So for this one, we'll reach the arms down to the sides, and we're going to turn the palms towards the floor and bring the thighs towards each other again. And then firm the belly and the buttocks, press the pubic bone down and the tops of the feet. As you inhale, lift head, chest, and arms up. Arms are floating. And as you exhale, release down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Be sure to keep the buttocks firm. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Last one, inhaling up and exhaling down. This time, take the hands underneath the shoulders, press onto your hands and knees and come all the way back into child's pose, buttocks to the heels. And if you want to, you can turn the palms up, and if you prefer, you can bring the hands down by the sides or leave the palms towards the floor. Whatever works best for you. If you prefer, you can also make a pillow out of your hands to rest your head on. So whichever position works for you, taking a few deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can come back into kneeling. Excellent. Adjust clothing as needed. And for this kneeling, we're going to tuck the toes under. And if you can, let your hips or buttocks come down onto your heels. So that can be quite an intense stretch of the feet. So if it's too much, just spend some time up and some time down, going between the two. If you're comfortable, you can simply sit on your heels and relax. Don't worry about it. For some people, this is the more intense one. For others, it's the opposite. Very good. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more downward facing dog and some lunges as well. Why not? Lunge. So coming onto your hands and knees, you can tuck your toes and give your untuck your toes rather and give your ankles a little wiggle if that's useful. This time when we come for downward facing dog, we're going to come into it without doing our little bounce that we did before. So tucking the toes, simply pressing the mat away from you, taking the chest towards the thighs as you unpeel the hips up and extend through the backs of the legs. And downward dog, it takes some time to feel really comfortable in it. So always do a little walking of the dog, pressing through one heel, extending that leg, bending the opposite knee, and going side to side. And the other thing that's quite useful here as an alternative is to bend both knees, not too deeply, just enough, and wiggle your tailbone from side to side, which is quite nice as well. Nice way to release tension from the low back. Remember to take the fingertips to the floor and the heels of the hands. That's where our effort is. And then if you want to, you can extend through the backs of the legs a little bit. We're going to try a little bit of three-legged dog. So bring your feet together, leave your hands as far apart as they are. You're going to lift the left leg up, doesn't matter how high it gets, and then take that toe back down to the floor. Lifting the left leg up, think about the buttock and the belly muscles engaging, and toe down. Leg up and toe down. This time we're going to take the leg up and then we're going to take the left knee to the right elbow underneath the body. Twist through the whole body. Inhaling back up, left foot up into the air. Exhaling, left knee to right elbow. Inhaling up one more time Exhaling, left knee to left elbow. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhaling, left foot down, hands and knees. Okay, so from here, we're going to stretch the left leg back again and just swing the left foot round to the left hand and then round behind the body. And you can look at it as it goes to the right. Left foot towards the left hand and then around to the right side. Left foot to the left hand, round to the right side, and this time left foot all the way to the right hand, and you can place the foot on the floor and bend your knee. So you can come up onto your fingertips, give your wrists a little bit of a rest. You've got almost like a lunge position, and we're going to take the hips backwards and forwards here, and you can pivot on the heel of your left foot, or if you prefer, you can keep the left toes down and do a slightly different stretch for the ankle, for the toes, for the leg in general. Bit backwards and forwards. And then as you come forwards this time, we don't want to dump our weight forwards towards the floor. That's not the object here. We're going to do a little twist. So we're going to bring the right hand more underneath the head and twist to the left and just ease the left knee out to the left side. You can roll onto the outside of the left foot. The left foot can also be angled out to the left. And here, maybe taking one arm circle in each direction. Very good. And then rolling the left foot to the floor. We're going to scissor the foot onto the mat. So it is in front of the left hip. The right knee is in front of the right hip. And then press the 2 feet apart to give you the strength to come into an upright lunge. We're doing a little bit of everything tonight. Excuse me. So we're going to do a little twisting and turning. I've realized I'm the wrong way around, but it's all good. I will sort that out in a moment. So here, firming the buttocks. We don't want to dump our weight towards the floor. We're holding up our weight away from the floor by pressing the feet away from each other. So we're really engaged and stable in the pelvis. Breathe in, take your arms forward and up. And breathing out, taking the arms forward and down. So we'll do that 2 more times. Breathing in and up, press the feet away from each other, engage buttock and bellies. Breathing out and down. 1 more, breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. This time we'll come up, but we're going to do a side bend as well. So first, breathe in and up. Catch hold of the right wrist, with the left hand. Breathe out and lean over to the left. Breathe in back to the center and breathe out over to the left. Breathe into the center. Breathe out over to the left. Breathe into the center, separate the hands, make cactus arms. So arms bent at the elbows, but arms at shoulder height. Here we're going to breathe in the center and breathe out as we twist to the left. Breathe in back to the center, take the shoulder blades towards each other. Breathe out, twist to the left. Breathe into the center. Breathe out, twist to the left. Breathe into the center, and I'm the wrong way around, but you're going to place your hands down on the inside of your left foot, lengthen your right leg and left leg, and turn to face the long side of your mat. And I shall turn around. There we are. So we've now got a wide-legged forward bend. Knees can be as soft as you need, and we're going to do a little bouncing pyramid pose. So that might not mean anything to you. If you're new, that's okay. So bend both knees, leave the right hand down, and then lift the left arm up as we lengthen through the arms and the legs. Bend both knees, both hands down, leave the left hand down, lift the right hand up, turn to the right, lengthen arms and legs. We'll bounce 3 times to each side. So this is number 2. And bouncing down and then lengthening as we twist. Bouncing down, lengthening as we twist. Last time to the right. Bouncing down, lengthening as we twist. Release both hands down. Walk your hands all the way to your right foot. pivoting on the right foot so that you can come back into downward facing dog and wiggle yourself in your downward facing dog, doing anything that feels good, paddling through the legs or swaying the hips from side to side. When you're ready, firm your fingertips and the heels of your hands into the mat, step your feet together, lift your right leg up and lower the toes to the floor. Firm belly, firm buttocks, lifting right leg up, lower your toes to the floor. Press your chest towards your thighs still, lift right leg up, toes towards the floor. And this time we'll do a little bit more. So we're going to lift the right leg up and then draw the right knee to the left elbow, twisting through the body. Right leg up and twist through the body, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Lift the right leg up and bring the right knee to the left elbow. And then we'll finish with the right leg up and then take the foot down. We'll come down to hands and knees. Now, in case anyone needs a rest, we're going to take a child's pose here. Just turn the palms of the hands upwards, forehead to the floor. Roll through your wrists if you need to. You don't need to have your forehead on the floor if you don't want to. We'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then come back to our hands and knees. And then here, the knees are quite close together. We're going to extend the right leg behind us, swing the right foot towards the right hand, and then swing it around to the left, looking to the left behind us. Swinging the right leg towards the right hand, and swinging around behind. Firm belly, firm buttocks. One more time up to the hand and behind us. And we'll do bringing the foot to the hand and then leaving the foot on the floor, just outside the hands, fingertips to the floor if you want to rest your wrists, and swaying the hips backwards and forwards. You can keep your toes on the floor or lift your toes as you go. We're just exploring that relationship between the two legs when we come into this position where they're doing different things. Very good. Next time you come forward, just leaving the hips forward, leave the left hand on the floor, but towards the head, turn to your right leg and just maybe roll onto the outside of the right foot if you want to, or simply angle your foot to the right. Gently press your knee out to the right as well, and then take one big arm circle in each direction. Very good. Then when you bring your hands down, scissor your foot in towards the center so that your right foot's lined up in front of your right hip. Press the feet away from each other and come into an upright lunge. Adjust your clothing as needed. So we're firm in the belly and the buttocks here. Have that sense of feet separated so we can press to get that stability. And then we're going to breathe in the arms up, looking up, opening the chest, breathing out and down. Breathing in, reaching forward and up. Breathing out and down. One more like that. Breathing in, forward and up. Breathing out and down. This time, we're going to breathe in, taking the arms up. Catch the left wrist in the right hand and breathe out as you lean over to the right side. Firm in the buttocks. Breathing in back to the center. Breathing out as you lean over to the right. Breathe in back to the center. Breathing out over to the right. Breathe in back to the center, and then breathe out as you draw your arms into cactus hands. Breathe in here, and then breathe out as you twist over to the right thigh. Breathe into the center. Breathe out as you twist, firm belly, firm buttocks. Breathe into center. Breathe out as you twist. Breathe into center, and then as you breathe out, place your hands down on the inside of your right foot. Lengthen through both legs. Pivot on your toes so you end up facing the long side of your mat. And we'll do our bouncing pyramid poses. So bend both knees, leave the left hand down, lengthen both arms and legs, reach the right arm up. Bend both knees as you come down and twist to the opposite side. Bend both knees and twist to the right. Bend both knees and twist to the left. One more time to each side. Very good. And then we're going to do one thing which is a little bit more advancing, but for those who would like an opportunity. So this time, as you lift your right arm up, you can float the left hand off the floor as well. So you don't have to. If you want to, you can keep hold of the floor with the left hand. But we want to avoid locking the knees straight. We want to lift as much as we can that hand towards the ceiling without overstretching the hamstrings. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and come down in the center. Make a little sway of the hips from side to side, bending one knee and then the other. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So from the center, bending both knees and then reaching the left arm up. And if you can, float the right hand off the floor. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, firm the belly and the buttocks. Make that twist and length through the spine if it feels good. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then folding down. And again, bending one knee and then the other. Little surfer squat here in the center. And then when you're ready, you can turn towards the left foot. Place the hands either side of the left foot. Step the left foot back to the right foot. So you're in downward facing dog again. And then take a little wiggle here. Soft knees, wiggle the hips from side to side. Or lengthen through one leg and then the other. And when you're ready, you can float your knees down to the mat. Take a kneeling position. Adjust clothing as needed. We're coming into relaxation from here. So put on your extra layers of clothing, your socks, your jumpers, your blankets, and we'll meet each other on the floor. So I'm going to put on my jumper again. Grab a blanket. And for those of you who've got yoga equipment or cushions nearby, if you want to, you can put some cushions underneath the backs of your knees, which is a really nice thing to do to soften and release. Or a yoga bolster if you've got a bolster. So gathering yourself all together, rolling down onto your back. You can start with your knees bent, feet on the floor if it's useful, or you can bend your knees in towards you and make some movements that feel good with your spine. Just giving the low back an opportunity to settle in this new position. If you're new to yoga, usually we take Shavasana for relaxation. We don't have to, but today we're going to. So extending through the legs, taking the feet nice and wide apart, releasing the arms away from the body with the palms turned upwards, and just relaxing the back of the neck a little bit and swaying the nose from side to side to soften any residual tension in the back of the neck area. When you're ready, you can bring your head back to center and just make a note of how your body's feeling. So sometimes when we come from our very active practice into relaxation, our body still has things it wants to let go of. So it's holding on to some tension to be able to let go. So we're going to do something called a tense and relax through the body to help let go of the effort in the muscles. So tense all of the muscles of the right leg. You can point the toes of the right foot and then lift the right leg just a little bit off your mat. Hold it tense, 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 and then drop it down with a thump. Thump is best. Tensing the muscles of the left foot and leg. Point the toe if you want to. Lift the left foot off the mat just a touch. Hold it tense, 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 and drop it down. Tense the buttocks and lift the hips up and drop down. Draw the shoulder blades underneath the body, lift the chest up and drop down. Make tight fists out of the hands. Lift the arms off the mat, both at the same time, not very far. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Press your shoulders down towards your hips. Open the palms, spread the fingers out, and then drop to the mat. Drop to the floor. Press your low back down into the floor. And at the same time, try to lengthen the whole of the spine downwards, but without lifting the head off the floor. So just holding the spine towards the floor, making some big effort to do that. Breathing deeply, we just hold this a touch longer, and then relax. Screw all the muscles of your face in towards your nose to make a tight lemon sucking face. And then open your eyes, open your mouth, stick out your tongue and exhale. We'll do that one more time. That's a lot of instructions. So screw all the muscles of your face in towards your nose, make a tight lemon sucking face. Then eyes open, mouth open, tongue out, exhale. Close your eyes and gently roll your head again, one side and then the other. Just a few times in each direction. And then when you're ready to bring your head back to center, you can make any adjustments you need to bring your body into a good position for you. So if you're happy with your back, then let your legs remain long on the floor, have the feet wide apart, allow the toes to fall out to the sides. If your low back doesn't feel quite so comfortable, cushions underneath the back of the knees, or bend your knees and place your feet quite wide and lean your knees together. Either of these is a good alternative to legs long on the mat. Arms resting a comfortable distance away from the body, further than you think often, with the palms turned upwards so the backs of the shoulders, back of the neck can really relax. Allow your spine to be aligned on the floor. Close your eyes and bring your body to stillness. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. We're going to repeat that 3 more times. A deep breath in, let all of your effort go. Deep breath in, let your muscles begin to relax. Last deep breath in and surrender down into your mat. Allow your breath to fall into its natural, spontaneous rhythm, falling away into silence. Take your awareness into your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the space between the eyebrows spreading. The area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. Move your awareness to the back of your body. Become aware of all of the parts of the back of your body that are in contact with some support. Back of the head, the shoulders and shoulder blades, backs of the arms and hands, buttocks, perhaps some parts of the back of the legs, the heels of the feet. Experience the sensation of contact between your body and the floor. Move your awareness to all of the parts of the back of the body that are not in contact with the floor. Back of your neck, wrists, perhaps your low back, backs of the knees, Achilles, and the soles of the feet. Experience the sensation of space between your body and the floor. Allow the whole of the back of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Move your awareness to the front of your body. Feel the space over you and around you. Feel the touch of air on your face. The movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. Feel the sensation of space between the feet, between the arms and the body. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands. Draw your awareness to your breathing and gently deepen your breath, inhaling for the count of 3. And exhaling for the count of 3. Inhaling for 3. And exhaling for 3. Inhaling light, energy, harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, discomfort. Inhaling light, energy, harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, discomfort. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm for the remainder of relaxation. Your body relaxing a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet. Rub your thumb over your fingertips. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. When you feel ready, take a deeper breath in, stretch through the body, stretch the arms, the legs, maybe press your low back down, maybe stretch one side, then the other, maybe yawning. When you're ready, you can gather your knees into your chest, hug them a little bit towards you, and then gently wave your nose from one side to the other. Little roll of the head in each direction, just to ease out any bits of tension there. When you're ready, you can make any movements that feel good with your knees, rocking, rolling, massaging out that space in the low back. We've worked with that and the back of the buttocks quite a lot today. The back of the buttocks only have a back, don't they? There we are, not to worry. When you're ready, if you can, keeping your eyes closed, you can roll to one side. Just taking a moment there, curled up, letting your body come round a little bit at a time. In your own time, find your way to a comfortable seated position, just keeping the eyes gently closed if possible. Bring the palms of your hands together and rub them. We're trying to build up a little bit of heat here, so you can press them quite firmly and you can rub them quite vigorously. And we're going to slowly build up that heat. So it's still going. If you've got incredibly friction-oriented hands and your hands are really warm already, you can maybe stop. If you want to, just keep going a little bit longer, getting the hands nice and warm. And when they feel warm, place the palms over the eyes so that the skin of the hands doesn't touch the eyes, but maybe the area around the eyes. Blinking into your palms a few times and taking your hands down when you're ready to open your eyes. So I hope that you can feel the effect of your practice in your body and it feels like it was useful. And I hope to see you next time. Namaste.